There is nothing worse than not knowing what to make content about. You sit there, you get in front of a camera, and you just draw a blank. So I'm going to go through some strategies and methods that I use when it comes to content creation. The first thing we need to do and ask ourselves is, what is it we want? Sometimes I might look at a pie chart of the performance of the business the month before, look at the different offerings and products I'm selling, and the easiest thing we can do is just make a list. So I have my business mentorship for $2,500, content mastery for $99, and PT starter kit for $99. So the first thing I could think about is there a piece of content that I want to make that sends people to one of these products? Now, although that can be effective, sometimes it's like going up to someone on the dance floor and saying, yo, do you want to suck my penis? 1 in 100 people might say, do you know what? I bloody well do want to suck your penis. But sometimes it's better for us to strategize, maybe being a little bit more chivalrous and saying, can I buy you a drink first? So rather than getting to this stage, I might look to the stage before it. You'll often hear me promoting videos about 30 ways in 30 days to benefit your business. There's a link for that in every single video that I've done. And that video has automated 30 emails that pretty much just convince people I know what I'm on about. Roughly between days 19 and 21, they buy. Recently, there's been another one. You'll notice that recently I've been doing a lot of content critiques. The reason that these are doing well is it gives me some unpolished, off-the-cuff time to go through people's sales systems and processes and give them honest feedback. Now, the beautiful thing about this is when people apply for a critique, I add them to the 30-day autoresponder. Now, weirdly and interestingly enough, the people that come in through critiques and then go into the 30-day autoresponder are attributing double the amount of sales than just sending them to the 30-day autoresponder. So recently I've been doubling down on videos that do that, purely because when they come through, they're twice more likely to buy. Now, on top of these things, there are some other strategies in which we might be looking at. I might also just put content out with the pure objective of growth. For that, we might use social hacking. Maybe I'm going to put someone famous in the thumbnail. Maybe I'm going to hold up a book that everyone's heard of and use that. Sometimes the strategy is just to get new people throughout the door. For YouTube growth, probably going to use that. However, for Instagram, I'm probably going to use a slightly different tactic. The fact I've got 1.4 million people on my Instagram, the majority of them aren't going to be right for business, mentoring, or whatever. But my growth strategy for that is usually just cross-promoting some of the stuff I'm doing to the main page. So before we even have an ideation of content or what we're going to talk about, we must look at the objective that we want to get from that piece of content. Is it to send people to a landing page where hopefully some of them do business with us? Or is the smarter strategy going to be about getting that person's contact information by giving them something of value? So Declan, what should we make today's video about? Which one of these things appeals to you the most? You want to go for growth. Now, what should we grow? You want to grow the YouTube or the Instagram? Well, we've already done.
Go YouTube.
Cool. It's kind of annoying because if you were to pick any of the email autoresponders, I probably would make more money, because then we could email people, put them in. But you said YouTube growth. Sure. Declan, let's go for a vanity metric because at the end of the day, you just like making nice YouTube videos. Fine. So we're going to have to begin with packaging. So for this video, let's go thumbnail and title. Now, one thing that a YouTube strategist said online, which I really liked the other day, which we could actually do today, is to strategize up to 40 different titles. So before we get into the thumbnail, let's think about some titles for this video. How to break through a content plateau. Don't like the word plateau. What's the words that I've been loving recently? Superlatives. Give me a list of all the superlatives that you know. I learned that word and now I can't stop. So here's some of the superlatives. We've got best, worst, biggest, smallest, fastest, oldest, youngest, richest, poorest, hottest, coldest, loudest, brightest, darkest, heaviest, meanest, fastest. Ooh, I do like fastest. So maybe we could start with that. Fastest way, best. Fastest way, the fastest way to come up to get best content ideas. Now this needs a bit of work. The fastest way to get the best content ideas. Maybe that's too many superlatives. Let's try fastest way to generate content ideas. Still feels a bit too long. Content ideas. Maybe we start with content. Maybe we go the easiest or easy and fast. What about this? Easy and fast content ideas. But then again, I quite like what you said about the story about what we're doing. We're trying to break through a content plateau. It's got to be succinct though, the fastest way. But we're not trying to break the algorithm. This video is centered around content ideation. Because if we go with that, then the very first thing we said in this video is not going to make sense. We are breaking our own rule here of not doing the title and thumbnail first. Maybe we should go with the easiest. Fast content ideas, fast content ideation, but I want it to be real simple. I want everyone to be able to understand this title. Nah, because that's not what the video is about. It's about getting good content ideas. What about smartest? Fastest, you're right, is good. Fastest way to get, fastest way for, maybe we use the word viral. Viral ideas. Fastest way to think of viral ideas. how to get viral ideas fast. Fastest way to think of viral content. Fastest way. People are going to get real insight to what. I do like a superlative. Easiest. Do people want fast or do they want easy? I like to use the word viral, but I want to make it still around content ideas. Let's have a look if there's anything out there. Viral content ideas. Let's have a look if there's anything that's been working. How to get video ideas so good you can't stop going viral. Oh, that is good. How to get video ideas so good you can't stop getting viral. And the title fits. How about this? How to get video ideas so fast you can't stop going viral. He says so good. 5 ways to get viral video ideas every YouTuber should know. How to trick their no. How to make shorts that go viral every time, no. How to actually grow on social media. That one's quite good. How to get viral ideas. How to get content ideas so good you can't stop going viral. Hold on. How to get video ideas so good you can't stop going viral. How's that fitting in that? That seems to me like a really long title. It fits though. Now, I like his light bulb. So how about this? How about, and this is not going to be a bit of a rubbish reveal for people, but why don't I look to the camera, we take a screen grab, maybe something like, I think we put the light bulb behind me, like a halo effect behind my head. So the light, nothing signifies an idea more than a light bulb. So have you got enough depth here? So if I give you that shot, and maybe I could be like, get that light bulb behind, we'll go one more time. People are going to really see what it's like behind it. Keep all this stuff in there as well. Cool. So there we've got, and then it'll be. So that packaging, I think it's going to be good. So then we've got an intro. So then as far as ideating this, how would we go about optimizing it? So one thing we could definitely look at, we've got the long form, which is going to be this video, but then we should probably do a short form for it as well. Now, what I would say the steps are for both of these when it comes to getting good ideas. First of all, work backwards. Without knowing what the end thing is that you want from a video, this one being about getting a little bit more growth to a wider audience, even though all the links will be to the description, it's very difficult to know what to talk about or what you're going to entail it into. 2, the first thing for YouTube is going to be packaging, because without getting those components right, you're just not going to get there. The third thing is to see what's working, because the reason that we're able to get a working title from this video is we've got a proof of concept from someone else. Now, the one golden rule that I would say with this is, if you're going to lever the see what's working category, don't watch the video. Because if we watch the video, we could end up seeing an amazing hook or an amazing setup or an amazing title. And I think that would be Leo out there with your 135,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for the title inspiration. Thank you very much for the thumbnail inspiration, but we're not going to steal any more from you. So we've got that. We've shown that we've now got a title and thumbnail that we're going to run with, that we're going to put together. We've got the work backwards, we've got the packaging, we've got to see what's working. Then what I would say for the majority of creators out there, you have a good idea for long format. It's now time to turn that into a 60-second reel, which we're now going to do, Declan, in this. And then from the stuff in this, we're going to have what it takes for having a reel. Now this 60-second reel, Declan, we actually could just do straight down the barrel. We don't need the whiteboard, because I know you're already thinking about cropping me in for 1080. No, what is it? 1080, 920, 1080 is the resolution. 1920 by whatever. Okay, so let's start thinking about a hook that would be good, because on the long format, we're going to need an introduction, which was a bit of an unagi inception for this one because it's part of it. Okay, so we need a hook that speaks to the person that's struggling with the problem. Let's think of a question hook. I reckon we go with something like this. Do you ever sit down to record content and then the moment you're ready to press record, suddenly you've got no ideas and you don't even know what to talk about? Then we can start doing the B-roll for this. So, do you ever sit down to record content and then the moment you're ready to press record, suddenly you've got no ideas and you don't even know what to talk about? So there we've just done the hook, the B-roll. Then let's think of a type of, I don't know, setup. Well, don't be sad, cheer up, because in this video, we're going to go through a 3-stage solution that's going to ensure that every time you have a content block, you can have some actionable things that you can do to ensure you can put out a piece of content today that benefits your business. Maybe a little bit more B-roll. We could be like, we're just having some fun at the moment. So then we said that the 3-stage thing was, first of all, work backwards. What's cool is when we put this reel together on social, people that have seen the long format will know where it's come from. People who see the short form won't. Work backwards. We said, see what's working. What was the second thing we said before, Declan? Let's have a little look. That's why we take pictures of things. Packaging. Now, I will admit, those of you on short form content care way too much about the packaging. People are spending 10, 15 minutes creating a thumbnail for an Instagram reel. No one cares, because I guarantee people are doing this. This is how people are discovering your reels. They are not scrolling your page and looking at your thumbnails, or if they are, they're not doing it at a meaningful amount for you to be caring too much about that. So instead, what we need to think about way more is the hook. So we're going now to the real setup. The first thing that you should do when you're facing a content block is to work backwards. What is it in your business you need? Is it to grow your email list? Is it to grow your following? Because that would be two very different tasks for you to do. If it's about growing your following, maybe use some kind of social trend or recent topic in the news that you could talk about or react to. But if it's about growing your email list, maybe you need to be working with some kind of chatbot to get some of your, let me say that last bit. And actually, you can keep in the fact I fucked up that sentence because I think that could be good for people to see. Or maybe it's the case that you put out a piece of content that's informative and educative, and at the end of that, connect some kind of chatbot where you say to people, if you want this resource, just DM or comment this word. Because the type of content that grows your page and the type of content that gets information from your page are vastly different. So depending on the goals, working backwards, we need to decide what we want to do. Which moves us into the second thing. If you were out there making a 10-hour YouTube video, fucked up again. If you were out there making a 10-minute YouTube video, and the editor was allowed to have 1 hour for every minute, you might assume that that editor would spend 1 hour on minute 1, 1 hour on minute 2, 1 hour on minute 3. But what I actually get Declan to do is to spend maybe 30, 40% of the edit on the first 30 seconds, because that is so much more important. If you do not win someone over within the first 30 seconds of a YouTube edit, what's the point of having great editing at the back? The same goes for an Instagram reel. If you're going to spend half an hour making a reel, you can allocate 15 minutes to the first 3 to 5 seconds. They are the first point of contact. It's a bit like how you act on a first date. You're overly polite. You dress a little bit too smart. You smell a little bit too good because it's your first point of contact. If you mess up the first date, it doesn't matter if you want to go to the Amalfi Coast in 3 weeks. It's too late, brother. So work and ideate and think up different things for your hook. And the last thing, to see what's working. There is no harm to go look at other creators in your niche and to see what's working for them. Is it using a prop when they talk about something? Is it having a top-down camera and illustrating on a whiteboard? Because everything that we have in content pretty much gets stolen from someone. This top-down camera here, I got from Simon Squibb. I saw that his videos were doing outliers when he was doing videos with content creators having a top-down whiteboard. Now, not only myself was copying it, but Alex Hormozy too. So next time you have a content block, just work backwards to what your business needs. Think about the campaign that you want to do. Look at some other creators, see what's working for them. Start with a strong hook, solve someone's problem, and you'll get everything you need. Now, that probably wasn't our best reel, but it will give people a bit of an insight into what happens. Then actually, sometimes, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to filming reels, some of you out there will already know, you'll go to film and you will forget to connect your microphone, or you will get to the end and you weren't in focus. And it's very frustrating at first when you do this and you're trying to film content. But all you got to do is just G yourself up and hit record on the camera again and go, let's do one better. Let's do one better. Another thing that's really important for when it comes to creating good content is literally just writing down people's problems. Declan hit me, blindside me with a niche. Jewelry making. Nah, too niche. We were saying, someone that has problems. A what? What's an arbor? Let's think about social media. Let's think about a business, because an arborist, that is quite niche actually. The only thing, let's think about something you'd use content in social media for. Yeah, but a bricklayer only solves one problem. What about an S&C coach? Do I do too much fitness? Ooh, speech coach. You put me on the spot there. Okay, so I don't know. I know there's a guy called Miles Usher-Lloyd, I think his name is. Need to do his speech coach thing actually. I already know what these are going to be. Saying like in content. I did a podcast recently and I listened back and I just kept saying like, I was like, yeah, so like you could just do this, and then if you do a chatbot, like people are just going to respond, and then like you could just do, hated it, couldn't listen to it, killed me. One thing I believe speech coaches do is they get you comfortable with silence. You ever notice that ums and ers we use to fill voids? So someone says, what's your favorite thing about it? You go, it's actually probably, whereas people, you'll notice Chris Williamson, the guy who's definitely on steroids and lying about it, he doesn't and er. Have you ever noticed that? He's had a speech coach. So yeah, and also Jordan Peterson, very good at this. You ask him something, yeah, I would agree with that. They're happy to sit in silence, whereas your classic uncouth scoundrels like me, oh God, yeah, basically like, it sounds horrible. Let's say tone and projecting, posture, planning. What else? Let's think about other problems people have with speech, accents. Cool, so these are just some of the problems that I think a speech coach would solve. So we just need to turn one of these into a hook. And once we have a hook, it's very easy to do the rest of the video. Let's think about this one. Have you ever listened back to a conversation that you've made with someone and heard the amount of times that you've said like? And like at the time, you didn't really realize, but like you're saying it quite a lot and you're using it like a filler word, and like it's pretty normal and most people do it. but you could probably like say it a little bit less. Straight away, people that are self-conscious already of that are going to listen to that hook and be like, oh my God. And then the setup could be, well, in this video, we're going to go through ways that you can stop saying like and start speaking better instead. The second one. So have you ever realized how many people and because in speech, it's just a normal thing. People don't like listening to silence. Well, guess what? In this video, I'm going to teach you ways that you can banish and ban ums and ers from your vocabulary so you can not only sound smarter, but you can lift up your speech game. Tones and projecting. When it comes to speaking, the gravest error you can make is to not talk loud enough. And although you are saying the same words, if you don't say them in the right way, people are not going to listen to what you're saying. Posture. Did you know the way you sit can impact the way that people perceive you as a professional? Planning. If you want to improve your retention or improve your ability to speak, the one thing that people aren't telling you is that if you plan what you're going to speak about, I don't know, that could be more like a scripting teleprompter or whatever, and then accents. Margot Robbie and Chris Hemsworth had to remove the Australianism out of their accent. Did you know that? So if you listen to Margot Robbie back in the day when she's like at a state of origin, she's like, yeah, I'm Margot Robbie. I'm from Queensland. My mum and dad wouldn't let me play rugby. But now she's more Americanized, same as Chris Hemsworth. And I'm pretty sure that Scottish and Australian people, so that people can understand what they're saying, actually have to de-accent themselves. So there, straight away, just by listing down problems, you've created hooks. Then I would go away and make those 6 videos. Then out of them, they would all perform a different amount. So let's say this one does 3K, this one does 5K, this one does 3K, this one does 11K, this one does 9K. Actually, no, we didn't like that one. And then this one. That could actually be the accent thing. Did you know that Margot Robbie and Chris Hemsworth had to learn to not speak Australian? Then depending on the objection of your business, you could say, right, these 2 are outliers, posture and accents. So you could then go away and make more videos on posture and confidence. Do you know there's some studies on posture and hormones, although much of it has been debunked? So there was a thing that if you go into a toilet cubicle and put your arms above your head, that it increases your testosterone. They were done with saliva tests, so I don't think they're accurate. Posture and, let's just say, gravitas. Then for this one, the accents, Scottish, Oz, USA. Because when you start off with people's problems and then you start creating solutions to them, we're then going to see what people have the interest in by the amount of engagement they get. Then to figure out if that's a fluke or if it's actually a content bucket, we would then go away and make more content on those to see whether or not this is genuinely something people are interested in or not. Then, if there's a certain subject or content bucket that you talk about that keeps getting engagement and interest, you would probably then want to build out some kind of product or services for those people. If we rewind to the very first slide where I said we had the business mentorship and we had content mastery, inside the mentorship, we've got loads of different threads. Getting leads, closing clients, content, YouTube, thumbnail ideation. But the busiest thread is the content thread. So that gave me the idea to make a $99 course. And then the short form content mastery gets a 9% upsell into the business mentorship. If any of you are interested in that, there are going to be links in the description to everything. The last considerations we need to consider within the content creation space is this. CTA stands for call to action. And call to action is when we ask people to do something. Even just then, when I spent 10 seconds talking about the link in the description. The majority of time, people have been doing their call to actions at the end of a video. Now, the issue is, even for the best of us, see how I said best of us, our retention graphs look like this. The end of the video is where the majority of people have left. So for any of you out there, if the purpose of your content is to get email addresses or to get people to look at your product, we need a call to action in the middle of the video. And Ed Lawrence has been doing amazing work of telling people to put a call to action in the first 90 seconds of a video. And I've noticed a difference. Traditionally, people have left it to the very end of a video for a call to action. I think better off to do it earlier. This is for Reels, this is for YouTube, this is for everything. The only thing we want to leave at the end of a video is an end card. And an end card is the opportunity for you to promote another video. That, I think you do for the last 10 seconds of a video. And your best way to get someone to consider to clicking on an end card is actually, you have your initial hook and introduction, you have a setup, you have a payoff, then you can have another hook at the end. Now, because this video wasn't designed to sell you my products, it was designed to be well packaged and easy to get out there for people to watch, I actually now have the opportunity at the end of the video to do an end card. What I'm gonna do is go to YouTube. I'm gonna go to my YouTube studio. I'm gonna go to advanced mode. Now here in advanced mode, we can add a metric called subscribers gained. Now, if we make this lifelong, let's say the last year, we can see the video that's grown my channel the most is why I quit my channel with 421,000 subscribers. So if the purpose of this video is to get people to follow me, I now know which one of my videos objectively grows my page the most. So to finish a video, I would sit here, I would have to point to one side. Which side looks better, Declan? This side or this side? This one. And if you've made it to the end of this video and ever wondered, James, why are you posting on a YouTube channel that's not even got 35,000 subscribers when you have another channel with nearly 500,000? Well, to find out why I completely quit and went cold turkey on a channel with nearly 500,000 subscribers, this video here explains it perfectly. See what I did? I've ended with a hook. That video is how the sausage is made. Thanks for watching.